Plus, a local musician is singing the blues. Coming up, Help Me Howard tries to help him solve a nasty legal battle.
YouTube. It may seem like a wonderful thing for unknown musicians, you know, maybe getting your music heard, having your videos seen, but what do you do when legalities stand in the way of those dreams? Howard Thompson joins us now with more on what one guy is up against. Howard?
Yeah, Jim, thank you. Something a little bit different tonight. I've done this long enough to know that being taken for your money can be very frustrating. But what if you're taken for even more? One viewer has out his entire livelihood. We had to turn up the volume. Here's the Help Me Howard report.
Very, very personal to me. You know, it was really a matter of principle that I felt very inspired to really finally put myself out there, and I asked for no one's help, you know, but a couple of friends, and to have someone tell me I can't do my own music, I felt was unfair.
Aaron Miller has been writing music for almost 30 years. He took a job at TSI, a New Jersey company that produces corporate training videos. But shortly after he wrote some music for a cosmetics company, his entire career turned to silence.
Well, it was a melody. It was called Think of the Possibilities. And so it was just like a catchy kind of phrase. And they decided that they didn't want it. So I felt it was a good hook, and I should really kind of continue working on that idea.
Aaron went home to his own production studio, where he wrote his own lyrics, directed a music video, and posted it to YouTube.
I did an email blast to everyone in my emails. It was really the first time I had ever done that. And my boss was one of them. I had nothing to hide. I was like, hey, look at what I did. And the next day I came in, he was like, you need to take this down, else you'll be fired.
Apparently, his employer felt there had been a conflict. Aaron says his bosses feared their client might sue their company for using similar music originally composed for business purposes. Aaron's bosses thought the tune was created on the job and didn't belong to him.
Again, I felt they were completely separate instances. One had nothing to do with the other. So my choices were take it down and be fired, and I chose I'm not taking my video down.
Aaron lost his job over the incident, and his bosses complained to YouTube. Just 2 days later, the video had been banned. Aaron says he wrote the music in his studio on his own time. So was it his song? We called in an expert.
There's a lot of companies that want to make it very clear whether the people they have at the office, the people that they have as employees or as independent contractors, whether they own the copyrights to the material they create or whether the company does.
Work an employee does on the job automatically belongs to the company, but Aaron says he made the video at home. So how did the video get banned from YouTube?
And so, under the terms of this Digital Millennium Copyright Act, what the Congress offered to companies like YouTube was a deal. They said, if you will agree that you will take down things as soon as you're notified that there's a copyright infringement, we'll immunize you from liability. And because of that deal, that's why you see such a quick response from YouTube to cases like this.
Just to be sure, we called Aaron's client, Physicians Formula. They had never heard of Aaron or his music video, but in good faith, they agreed to let him repost. Now all we had to do was talk with his boss, which was more difficult than we thought. We are going to be receiving a document before the close of business today from Physicians Formula. They've given us verbal agreement that it's okay with them if he put it back up. And we're passing that on to YouTube, and we just need TSI to sort of put the last piece of the puzzle together. That's when we found out Aaron's music was actually already copyrighted.
As soon as I put pen to paper and write a paper, as soon as someone sings and records it, that very act of transmitting it, or that very act of recording it, gives you a copyright. However, if you want to register your copyright to prove that you have ownership, okay, so if it ever comes down that you need like evidence that you actually do own this thing, that's where registration is important.
Aaron has filed all the necessary paperwork and should be receiving his written copyright in the next few months. It may take some time, but unless his old bosses take him to court, he'll be rocking to his own beat on YouTube. Now, our expert warns that when it comes to copyright issues, there's a huge difference between the worst that can happen and what usually happens. But there's a first for everything. To be safe, obtain a copyright on original music and try getting pro bono help from local law schools or volunteer lawyers from the arts. If you have a problem, you can call my hotline at 212-210-2490, or you can reach me on my blog, Twitter, and become a fan on Facebook. Always waiting to hear from you. Jim, Kitey, G,
Gets complicated.
Lolita.